Hey, how you doing, Clayton? This is Darryl Stone from Queens, New York. I definitely have a question for you. I'm pretty familiar with how you jumped into the real estate market. I know you said you pulled from your 401k, and that's how you wound up acquiring your first few rental properties. My question to you is, when you went to acquire your first few rental properties, what strategy did you use? Were you house hacking? Did you use the BRRRR method? Did you wind up running to a subject two or subject three? And how has it contrasted to now that you're an established real estate investor? What's your favorite method now versus then when you had first started? Thank you.
Well, thank you, Darryl, and really fantastic, thoughtful question. So thank you, Darryl, for that question. And I like his thinking here, which is, when you first got started, what did you use, and then how did you evolve your real estate investing strategy over the years when you became more successful or the market maybe changed? So I will address that. So, how did I get started real estate investing when I first used my 401k to leverage that to invest in real estate? Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, Daryl's a longtime listener, which is great. The way that I first bought my first two rental properties was I had some cash on hand, but mostly I was able to borrow from my 401k. Now, at the time, I worked in television. I had a 401k plan, and the thing with a 401k, it's a terrible means of uh, planning for retirement. Like if you're going to bank on your retirement using a 401k, you're in trouble, right? We don't want to have a pile of cash at the end of the line that we're going to have to pay taxes on in a higher tax bracket when we retire. It makes no sense, right? 401k, I believe, can only be utilized and is only worthwhile if your company is really matching you at a certain level. Then it can be valuable. You're getting some free money. But for the most part, I'm not a fan of it. It's a small strategy, something you can use on the side. So I had this 401k plan. What you can do with a 401k is that you can borrow from it, not withdraw. There's two things. You can withdraw, claiming a hardship, you'll pay a penalty, but you can also borrow from your 401k. And I had Fidelity at the time. That was my 401k provider. He was able to go into my portal, very simply, and within a few clicks, I was able to borrow and transfer $50,000 maximum at the time to my personal bank account. And it was done within like 2 days. Transferred it over, and then you have to pay it back out of your payroll. And you can set the time. How long do you want to pay it back? I think I set it for 12 months. So that every time I got a paycheck, I saw a portion of my paycheck was going back to pay this loan back. Now, the beauty of this is that it's a loan to myself, right? It's my own money. On top of which, I get the benefits of it being a real estate loan. And so because of that, I can claim that interest and so forth on my taxes. Third reason this is a great strategy at the time is that there's a certain cap that you're allowed to put inside of a retirement account every year. Every year it switches, so don't hold me to this, but every year I think it was like 17,000 at the time. For me, it was like 16,500 is how much you could contribute in a year. Now I think it's like 17,500. I can't keep up with it, to be honest with you. And I know during COVID they changed some rules. So anyway, check. Your mileage may vary when you listen to this. 17,500. But then if you're using the strategy when you're paying back that account, you can actually exceed the federal maximum allowable contribution in that year. So really three great reasons to borrow from your 401k. No, there's no penalties or anything like that. So now I had $50,000 and I used that to buy two properties in Michigan at the time. Not a place that I invest in anymore, but at the time I found two. One of them was a short sale. The other was a foreclosure, if memory serves. And at the time it was, you could find a lot of foreclosures. You could find a lot of short sale homes. And of course, a short sale took a lot longer to go through the process because you're having to deal with the bank. There's time limits. It took a long time. But anyway, I wanted to contract on two of them. The foreclosure home closed quickly. And then I did the BRRRR method. So I went in and did some renovations on it. I updated the cabinets, the flooring, put in carpeting, and did some minor paint and stuff. Nothing crazy, but maybe $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 or so roughly, and got it rented with a property management company. This was my first foray into this, and I was sort of buying in the same neighborhoods where an investor had given me advice. I talked about this story on an airline flight when I was flying to New Zealand, and this couple was they were in their 50s and they were going to New Zealand for 2 months. And I've told this story many times. I was on this flight. I could only go for 5 days. And I said, how long are you guys going to be in New Zealand? They said, we're going to be there for 2 months. And I said, what do you guys do that you can travel to New Zealand for 2 months? And they said, we're real estate investors. So I just picked their brain for the next 45 minutes before we landed. And I wish I would have talked to them for the whole 16-hour flight. And they told me they were buying these certain neighborhoods in Michigan at the time and different parts of the country. And I just wrote it down. And then as soon as I got back, I immediately flew out to Michigan, started learning, because I'm like a dog with a bone. So yeah, one of them was a short sale. One of them was a foreclosure, and got them rented. By the time the first one was done with the rehab and construction, the next one was able to close escrow. So it kind of was good that one was a short sale and took longer to close, so that my contractor at the time was able to then grab his paint cans and stuff and go over to the next property. And they've been rented ever since. I mean, they've been great properties for me. I bought them I think they were like 26,000 range, something like that. Now, bear in mind, you're not finding properties like this anymore. It's very difficult to do, and you want to think about scaling, okay? So that's what I did at the time. I bought it, I renovated it, I rented it, and I rinsed and repeated it, okay? I got in fact loans against those properties, and I rinsed and repeated, and I bought more properties, and that kind of started me on my journey. Nowadays, to answer Darryl's question, what do I do now? Now I don't bother with renovations. Now, I run a full service rental real estate team. So we are buying raw land in the best school districts, in the best landlord friendly states in the country. And we're building brand new construction homes. So I've come a long way. That is to say, I'm not buying some old 1940s home and renovating it anymore. And I'm trying to find contractors and all of that is out the door for me. Now what I'm simply doing is buying homes, brand new construction homes in the best school districts, in the most landlord-friendly states in the country. Mostly we focus on West Texas because it's the best. Texas is the most landlord-friendly state in the country. And we're in areas where there's tons of job growth, low crime, very low vacancy rate, and that's what I buy these days. I buy new construction properties with big vaulted ceilings where families are going to stay for many, many years because they're in great school districts. And I get the benefits on my taxes from doing it this way because I get to do cost segregation analysis that I can hand over to my tax accountants. So I'm getting all of that sort of down payment that I'm making back on my taxes because I'm able to go through the cost segregation process. If you don't know about cost segregation, please check out our videos on our channel where we deep dive that whole tax strategy so you can learn and save. So Darryl, I hope that answers it for you. I've come a long way. I'm just mostly focused now on new construction. I get the best bang for my buck long term and tax benefits of doing it that way. And I get to really zero in on the best possible neighborhoods. And it's new. I've got brand new properties built from the ground up the way that I want them. So it's that's been my journey. I hope that helps answer your question. We have tons of great resources on our website. Go to morrisinvest.com. You can leave us a voicemail question there just by clicking on the little microphone icon. And if you'd like to book a call with our team, if you're getting ready to invest in real estate, we are building over 500 homes this year with our team. That is single families and duplexes, brand new construction built from the ground up in the best rental markets in the country with tenants moving in or in place at closing. This is vital, and financing built in. So you don't have to worry about finding the financing and all of that. Book a call with our team and we're happy to take you through our entire process. Until next time, everyone, go out there, become a real estate investor. I believe it's the #1 way to build wealth. We'll see you next time.